Welcome everybody to Atlanta Motor Speedway. My name is Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Fortuna Iron Truck Series here on Intensity Broadcasting. And we are starting the round of 6 here tonight. Last week was the cutoff race. We lost 3 drivers. Let's take a look at those point standings coming into today. Brian Canuti at the top of the board with 20,020 points, or 2,020 points. Devicino back with 2,010 points. Michael Rosenberger, Brian Merle Jr., Bobby Mays, and Derek Chaput all back there with 2,000 points. We lost 3 drivers, Michael Provolt, David Hartney, and Craig Schroeder. So these 6 drivers will be duking it out here tonight, trying to advance themselves automatically to the round of 3, the championship round. Devin Buccino, currently the fastest truck on the track here tonight. We see Kyle Mays making his way out onto the track right now as well. Brian Canuti will not be in the race here tonight, so he's got to work hard to win next week to move himself into the championship race. Of course, as always, our championship drivers are highlighted in green on the tower and the ticker here tonight. Just a couple more races left here in the season. It has been a fantastic season so far in the SCSRA Fortuna Iron Truck Series. Last week we saw a nail-biter between Brian Canuti and Devin Buccino at Nashville Super Speedway. Sorry, that was a couple weeks ago. Last week we saw a fantastic win by Eddie Morse at Talladega. And Eddie showing some speed here tonight at Atlanta, currently second fastest on the board. See if he can go a back-to-back, one at a super speedway and one at a 1.5 mile track. Brian Merle Jr., another one of our championship drivers here, as qualifying is about to get underway. It looks like Craig Schroeder, one of the first cars to make their way onto pit road. Was eliminated from the playoffs after last week. See Brett Merle out on track as well. Brett's been showing some speed the last few weeks in that 11 machine. Great looking truck that he's driving here tonight. See Michael Rosenberger in the 3 truck, one of the remaining 6 for the playoffs here tonight. Of course, it's hard to see on the back of the trucks, but the drivers can see it, that on the back of every truck there is, on their name there, their little P next to their name, showing that they are a playoff driver. Tough for you to see that, so I made sure to highlight them on the ticker and the tower for you. Highlighted in green, those will be your playoff drivers. Just realized I did not have my chat up. I do apologize for that. So if you've said anything to me the last few minutes, I was not able to see it, but Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence currently at the top of the speed charts as Rosenberger makes his way off of turn 2 and down the backstretch. Craig Schroeder jumps up to the top spot. off of turn number 4. Rosenberger almost up against the wall. Comes across the stripe, and he will move up into the 3rd position. Eddie Morris currently at the top of the board. Cody Moore, a driver that always shows speed here at these 1.5-mile tracks, and pretty much anywhere as we go. So Cody makes his way off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch. Clips the grass a little bit, but able to hold on to it, and he is going to jump up to P3 on the charts. See Will Witt out on track. Across the stripe to complete his first of 2 laps. Moves up to the 8th position. Zachary Cox just jumped up to P2. Devin Bucino up into the current pole. Still quite a few drivers left to qualify with just over 6 minutes left here at Atlanta. As Will Witt makes his way off of turn number 4. Down through the quad oval, and let's see where he comes across the stripe. And Will's going to move up to P4. Kyle Mays out on track in the Mission Barbecue Machine. Just started his first of 2 laps. Kyle comes off of turn number 4. His first lap is going to put him currently up to P11. Having trouble keeping that truck pinned down on the white line, like we saw Cody Moore and Will Witt able to do. Off of turn number 4, where will Kyle Mays land? Kyle's going to jump up to P2. So a great run for Kyle Mays. We see Bobby Mays, one of our playoff drivers, just making his way off of turn number 4. Let's see where this part of the Mays Mafia lands here. And Bobby actually ran slower on his second lap. He's going to stay in the 11th position. Here's Derek Chaput. Of course, Chaput is one of our remaining 6 drivers. Making his way across the stripe for his first of 2 laps. He's going to move up into the 8th position. Eli Raposa says, "Let's go DBC Racing." Shabby makes his way down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Well, you hear him out of the throttle really early. He did not get into that corner well at all. He's going to pull off here. And how about this? David Wright just jumped up to the top of the speed charts with a 31:20. So fast lap out of the driver of the 84 machine. See Uncle Todd out on track. Really letting that truck hang out as he makes his way off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch he comes. Todd's going to come off of turn number 4 down to the stripe. And he is going to jump up into the 11th position. We see the 19 of Brandon White out on track. White just taking the green flag, makes his way down into turns 1 and 2, solidly down against that white line as he makes his way off of turn 2. Mick Olafson says, let's go, Will. Mick, I hate to inform you, I don't know if you know this track doesn't have any dirt on it. So not really sure how Will's going to fare here tonight as Brandon White on his first lap moves up into the 12th position. If the track was covered in dirt, Mick, I think Will would have a much better shot here tonight. But being that it's asphalt, it'll be a little bit tougher for Will here tonight, I think. As you see Brandon White coming off of turn number 4 down to the stripe. And that 19 machine is going to go P7 on this run. So with about a minute left here in qualifying, I believe that is going to do it. As we have 2 drivers who did not make a qualifying attempt. But with only a minute left in qualifying, I do not believe they're going to have enough time to even make an attempt here tonight. Of course, as always, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. It's like a super speedway. Well, that is true. That's very true. So we'll have to see how Will does fare here tonight. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. We do appreciate you joining us. See, we got 8 people watching at home, and a like and a follow does mean a lot to us. It really helps us out. Don't forget to check out our store as well, our web store at intensitybroadcasting.com. There is a link down in the description. You can find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, not just of Intensity Racing now, but Atlee Atman Weiss has his store up there as well. So you can check that out at the link below at intensitybroadcasting.com. Now, Atman's been spending some time down at Charlotte in his Bandolero lately. So as we're getting ready to take a look at our starting grid, and starting on pole tonight is the 84 of David Wright, Devin Buccino. In the 68, he'll be rolling off from P2. P3 will find Kyle Mays and Zachary Cox rounding out row number 2. Eddie Morris will round out your top 5. 6 will be Nick Mather. Brandon White qualifies 7th with Will Witt in the 8th position, and rounding out row 5, your top 10, the 52 of Cody Moore and the 74 of Brian Merle Jr. Derek Chaput will be rolling off from 11th, and Todd Mays from the 12th position. 13th will be Michael Rosenberger with Craig Schroeder in the 14th position. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence rolling off from 15th, and playoff driver Bobby Mays in the 16th position. Brett Merle back in 17th with Joe Wright starting from the 18th position. 19th will be Mark Shavers, and David Hartney will round out the field here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, as I was mentioning, you can check out the Intensity Broadcasting web store at intensitybroadcasting.com, where you can find Intensity merchandise, Atlee Atman Weiss merchandise, as well as some of our novelty shirts, such as the Pucker Moment, Petey the Raccoon, Big Bushy Bearings, and of course our personal favorite, the Cautions Breed Cautions t-shirt. So you can check that out all at intensitybroadcasting.com. So as we get ready here for 70 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Just waiting for that pace car to start rolling, and there he goes. He's going to bring the field around one time. And we will get the race underway here at Atlanta. And it looks like Mark Shavers and Dave Hartney, neither one of them in the race here tonight. So, and again, unfortunately, Brian Canuti missing the race here tonight as well. Puts him at a must-win situation next week. At Michigan. As we watch the field make their way down towards turn number 3. Sellout crowd here at Atlanta. As David Wright gets ready to lead him down to the restart zone. See another cheer there for William Walter Witt V as Dave Wright hits that loud pedal. We are green flag racing here at Atlanta, and a great start for Dave Wright on the inside. Kyle Mays was trying to make it 3 wide there for a second, thought better of it as D. Wright going to move himself out in front ahead of Kyle Mays, who Devin Butchinow falls back into the 3rd position as Eddie Morris was taking a look down to the inside of Zach Cox. And as they come off of turn number 4, D. Wright is going to lead the first lap here at Atlanta, but he's got a hard charging Kyle Mays looking down to the inside. And he's going to let Kyle have that position. A little further back, we got some side-by-side racing. We see William Walter Witt, the 3rd, to the outside of Eddie Morris, and Eddie Morris falling back a little bit. He's got Cody Moore trying to give him a shove down the backstretch as Will Witt taking a look. And Kyle Mays and D. Wright going back at it. Dave was taking a look back to the inside of Kyle, but Kyle was a bit too strong. Now you see Nick Mather up on the outside trying to move himself forward as well. So we got 3 wide. Eddie Morris, Devin Butchinow, and as the 52 of Cody Moore in the middle. And they're going to make it back to 2 wide going into turn number 4. And Derek Chaput up into the 5th position as well, showing some speed early in this run. So some tight racing through the field. Michael Rosenberger stuck back here in the middle as well. Another one of our playoff drivers. Again, as always, your playoffs drivers are going to be highlighted in green on the ticker. As D. Wright's taking a look to the outside of Kyle Mays this time as they make their way down into turn number 1. And here comes Nick Mather with a run as well. Him and Will Witt charging up to the front here. Ooh, little wiggle out of Nick. Mick pointing out that Will is up into the 4th position on a non-dirt track. As D. Wright takes a look down to the inside of Kyle Mays. And he's going to make that work down there. He's going to have Nick Mather follow him along as well. Kyle Mays stuck up on that high side. He's going to have to tuck in line behind D. Wright. And D. Wright making a pass for the lead. Further behind this, Eddie Morris has lost 3 spots, falling back to the 8th position. And Devin Butchino, who started on the front row, currently sits back in the 9th position. I was talking to Devin before the race, and he was telling me that these trucks feel completely different in the air now. It's almost as if iRacing has made a bit of a change. Talked to a couple other drivers, they said the same thing, that the air really affects these trucks now. If somebody gets right down underneath you or on the back bumper, it can really loosen the truck up, and it's something to be watching for all night tonight. As Butchino makes his way around Eddie, and now he's trying to get his way around Michael Rosenberger. Kyle Mays has a little competition here from the 16 of Nick Mather. Though Mays is able to drive off the corner pretty strong here. So take a look from the front bumper of Nick Mather, and Nick running just a little bit higher entry, trying to get the truck to rotate a little bit into the corner. See Will Witt using that same technique, driving a little bit higher, trying to get the truck to run down the hill. A little further back, Todd Mays moving around the 4 of Craig Schroeder, and the 3 of Michael Rosenberger, trying to pull Bobby Mays along as well. Bobby, we know, is one of our playoff drivers. And how about this, Cody Moore taking a look down to the inside of Derek Chaput. A couple neon drivers right there behind Cody Moore. 68 of Devin Butchino and Derek Chaput now. Chaput trying to tuck himself in line behind Cody. We know Atlanta is very tough on tires, and we're seeing that right now. Drivers kind of running all over the track, running different lines, trying to see where their vehicle works the best. See Will Witt running that little bit higher entry, kind of diving in the corner. We're seeing Cody Moore trying to get down to the white line as quickly as possible, as he makes a liar out of me and runs the high side. And then diamonds the corner down to the bottom. So a couple different lines being driven by these drivers here tonight. As Nick Mather, who was just on the back bumper of Kyle Mays a couple laps ago, has fallen back to just over a half a second behind Kyle. And Will Witt closing in on that 16 machine. Brandon White has entered pit road. And looks like he might have pulled off the track. Let's rewind and take a look at this 19 machine. Let's see if there's any damage or anything to it. Doesn't look like any damage to this truck. Let's take a look at this side as he makes his way down onto pit road. And yeah, just not able to see if there's any damage to the right side of that truck that would cause him to, oh yeah, the right side tore up pretty good on that 19. That's going to do it for him tonight. As Will Witt and Devin Butchino have caught the 16 of Nick Mather. As Butchino takes a look down to the inside of Will. He's going to try to get back by Butch here as they go down into turn number 3. But you know, too strong down on that low side. So give the 68 the 4th position as Will Witt tries to battle back hard on the high side. And while they're battling, that's exactly what Nick Mather wants to see. So when they run side by side, they're not going to be able to catch as quickly to Nick. A little further back, we see Brian Merle Jr. trying to get around the 82 of Joe Wright. This is a battle for the 12th position. But more importantly, it's a battle for some points for Junior as, well, battle's starting to heat up here at the front. Kyle Mays running Dave Wright back down. And Mays is right there on the back bumper. Using that apron to get that truck to turn just a little bit. Now he's going to look down to the inside of D. Wright. Down into turns 1 and 2. Dave Wright trying to pinch down that 55 a little bit. Trying to take his speed off the corner. He's a little bit of a side draft. We were talking earlier how the air can really change the handling of these trucks, and pinching that driver down, that can actually load the spoiler up with air, causing the light end to actually, the rear end to actually get a little light and loose. But Kyle Mays is going to drive right by Dave Wright. And here comes the 68 of Devin Bucciano into the picture here as well. And Butch taking a look down underneath the 84. And almost a little bit of contact between him and Dave Wright. The way Butch came across the front end of D. Wright, it kind of upset that 68 machine. But he continues to march forward as Will Witt now taking a look underneath Dave Wright. And it looks like Dave Wright might have burnt his tires off just a little bit as he's starting to fall back. So we got a battle for the lead between the 68 of Devin Bucciano and the 55 of Kyle Mays. Kyle throws a little bit of a block, runs a little lower off the corner. Trying to keep that 68 from making the move down underneath, but here goes Bucciano. Has to back out of it to keep from getting into the side of the 55. Butch is going to have to regroup and try again. A little further back, we've got a battle between Nick Mather, Cody Moore, Uncle Todd all in here as well. See Eddie Morris making his way back up towards the front. As Devin Bucciano makes another move down to the inside of Kyle Mays. This time it sticks for the 68. They're going to be side by side off of turn number 4. Down to the stripe. Kyle Mays is going to lead that lap, but not by much. So they make their way down into turns 1 and 2. Some contact. Shoots Kyle Mays up the track a little bit. Kyle Mays going to give him a little bit of the business down the backstretch. And now Mays is going to try to take a look down to the inside this time. But Bucciano able to use that high lane to get the run off the corner. And he's going to take sole possession of the lead. A little further back, we see a couple Canadians going at it. Nick Mather and Derek Chaput were just going at it for a second. Now Nick getting around the 84 of Dave Wright. And we see Bobby Mays and Eddie. Oh, contact! Nick Mather up into the fence. Craig Schroeder hits him. He is upside down on the backstretch. Caution is out. That's going to bring out our first wreckage rewind of the evening. So we take a look to see what happened here. So we see him coming off of turn number 2. right there on the inside quarter panel of Nick Mather, or sorry, outside fender of Nick Mather there. As they come off of turn number 2, Dave Wright just kind of brushes the wall a little bit, loses the rear end, comes down across the track, catches Nick Mather, who goes spinning across the track right in front of the 5, who goes underneath the 16 as he gets flown up into the air. Here comes Craig Schroeder. Nowheres to go. He makes contact. And Nick Mather ends up on his roof there. Let's take a look at this from the 5 machine. Let's ride on board with the 5 of Bobby Mays. If I can find him on my scoreboard here. It doesn't get much closer than that. And then if we rewind it just a little further back and right along with the 4 of Craig Schroeder, we'll see exactly what he saw coming off the corner as he saw that 16 doing a handstand right in front of him. So Nick Mather had to get towed back to the pits to get his damage repaired. Everybody made their way down onto pit road. And Devin Butchnow is going to come off of pit road with the lead. And I know I was told pre-race that it looks like these drivers can go about 34 laps on fuel. So that's going to put these drivers about 5 laps short. So these drivers will have to pit just one more time. Question is, do you try to save a little bit here? Or do you go all out and hope for another caution? We'll have to see what strategy comes into play here tonight. We've seen fuel strategy come into play a couple times this season. We'll see if that comes into play here tonight as the lights are off on the pace car. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here at Atlanta. Butchnow is going to choose the inside, putting Kyle Mays to his outside. Will Witt up into third on the inside with Uncle Todd to his outside. Then Cody Moore and Bobby Mays back in row number 3. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night as the SCSRA Xfinity Series takes on Talladega Super Speedway. That'll be an awesome race to watch as well, as these Super Speedway races are always entertaining. So tune in tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern for the SCSRA Xfinity Series from Talladega. Here we go. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Butchino's going to lead him back down to the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. Great restart for the field. No tire spin out of these drivers here tonight, as Butchino is going to move himself back into the lead. A little further back, we see a little battle. Cody Moore looking down to the inside of Uncle Todd Mays. Kyle Mays looking to the outside, getting a little shove from the 53 of Will Witt. Kyle Mays going right around the outside of Devin. So you see a couple YXU drivers trying to get themselves to the front, as Cody Moore all over the back of Devin Butchino now. One of the Mays Mafia drivers. Oh, one of the Mays Mafia drivers way in trouble. That was Bobby Mays. Looks like a little contact made. He got out of shape, able to hold on to it though. Great save for the driver of that 5 machine, but gonna spread things out a little bit as Will Witt now trying to take over the lead here. Not really sure what happened to Butchino, who was just battling for the lead a moment ago, finds himself back in 5th. As Will Witt takes the lead on the asphalt here, going into turn number 3. And his teammate right behind him, the 52 of Cody Moore. Kyle Mays has to deal with Uncle Todd right behind him. As Kyle Mays took a look down to the inside, Cody Moore made a little bit of contact. Saw the 52 get really out of shape there. That's allowed Will Witt with clean air just to start to pull away. So clean air being the difference right now for the driver of that 53. How about Joe Wright sitting back in the 5th position? Really haven't talked about Joe all race long. Finds himself up in the top 5. Continuing to try to move himself forward. The other Wright brother, Dave Wright, who had such a strong start from the pole, now finds himself way back in the 13th position with a lot of racing left. See Kyle Mays and Cody Moore running nose to tail down the backstretch. Kyle able to drive into the corner a little bit better. We see Cody driving off the corner much better than that 55. See just how deep Kyle is able to drive it. But as they come off the corner, you can see just how far away Cody Moore is able to pull back away from that 55, as Cody running up onto his teammate here. And Will's going to let Cody right down to the bottom and not put up much of a fight, as Cody Moore is now going to take over the lead here at Atlanta. So 2 YXU drivers, followed by 2 Mays Mafia drivers, Kyle Mays and Todd Mays. And we'll find Joe Wright back in 5th. And we'll find Craig Schroeder and Zachary Cox. Zachary Cox battling side by side with Brett Merle. That is for 7th and 8th, with Devin Butchino right there in the mix as well. So 3 neon drivers a little further back here. We've got Brett Merle, Devin Bucino, and Brian Merle Jr. Brian Merle Jr. up into the top 10, trying to get some good points to be able to move on to the next round. Kyle Mays under attack from Todd Mays. Almost some contact between the Mays Mafia drivers. As we are 5 laps past halfway. Again, we know these drivers will have to pit one more time unless somebody's saving a little bit of fuel. We see Eddie Morris, who pit just before the green flag. Topped off with 1 to go. He's making his way through the field. But I think he's got more fuel than anybody else out there right now. Then we see Dave Wright way back here in 15th. Looks like he's saving a little bit of fuel, hoping that maybe he can stretch it to the end. Devin Bucino taking a look down to the inside of Craig Schroeder. And Bucino is going to take over that 7th position. Or is he, as Craig Schroeder fights hard on the high side. So, fantastic battle going on back here for 6th and 7th. As Will Witt has Todd Mays starting to run him down, trying to take over that 2nd position. And Mays is going to look down to the inside. But Will Witt's going to be able to hold on up on that high side as they come off of turn number 2. As we are seeing battles all over the track. We've got a gaggle of cars back here. Zachary Cox trying to take a look down to the inside of Joe Wright to take over that 5th position. So we take a look from the blimp overhead. Gives you a very good view of all the racing going on all over the track. See Zachary Cox still trying to get around Joe Wright. Joe's able to drive it in there just a little bit deeper. Cox gets the good run off the corner, and here comes Devin Bucino to make it 3 wide. Oh, and Brian Merle Jr. got a little loose there. Zachary Cox caught the apron. He got a little loose. There's almost some contact. Everybody gets it gathered forward, and Devin Bucino is going to get a 2-for-1 to move himself up into the 5th position as Zachary Cox and Joe Wright continue to battle side by side. Mick says that was close. That was real close as the drivers were... A couple drivers were sliding side by side there. Zachary Cox is going to fall back all the way now into the 8th position. As Uncle Todd is now caught Cody Moore as they come down the backstretch. Todd Mays doing everything he can to try to run down Cody Moore. Last time by, those two ran pretty much identical lap times, and they have been. Todd Mays has been just a little bit faster as he's all over the back bumper. Cody Moore trying to loosen him up here. Now Todd's going to take a look down to the inside. Cody's going to run it down the hill to get the drive off the corner. Todd tries to take a look down to the inside, just not able to do it though. But he is right there on the back bumper of Cody Moore, just waiting for that 52 to slip up. Great view off the back bumper of the 52 of Cody Moore. Oh, Cody Moore makes his way down onto pit road. Oh, Will Witt does too. Will Witt loses it coming onto pit road. Catches the cone. Will might have a penalty for unsafe pit entrance for hitting the commitment cone. That's going to give Todd Mays the lead. So with 20 laps to go, a couple drivers making their way down onto pit road. Both YXU drivers. We'll see if Will Witt is able to get down and away. We see the right side's up on Will Witt's truck right now. Cody Moore's left side's in the air. He is going to be down and away. I'm just curious if Will has to be stuck. Yeah, it looks like Will did get a penalty. He's still sitting on pit road. Unfortunate for Will. Up front, though, Todd Mays continues to lead. Craig Schroeder makes his way down onto pit road. As Will Witt continues to sit on pit road now, he's going to be down and away. But unfortunately for him, losing quite a lot of time, just over a lap and a half. Devin Butchno, Brian Merrill Jr., Bobby Mays all on pit road as well. Now we're going to start seeing which strategy people are trying to run. If they're trying to save fuel, did Todd Mays slow down a little bit to save a little bit of fuel? Joe Wright, Derek Chaput on pit road. Brian Merrill Jr. just leaving pit road. Yeah, Will Witt is currently 2 laps down. As we see the lap times between Todd Mays and Kyle Mays, and it looks like these two have started backing their laps down. As you see Cody Moore on fresh tires coming to get his lap back. That's a good indication right there of the difference between fresh and old tires. But Todd Mays continues to stay out with just 15 laps to go. Can he stretch the fuel to make it to the end? Michael Rosenberger now making their way onto pit road. And Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, as Todd Mays makes his way down to pit road. Kyle Mays is going to stay out. So Kyle Mays is going to take over the race lead with just 14 laps to go. Zachary Cox, another driver that's really slowed down the last few laps. Him and Eddie Morris both trying to stretch this fuel run possibly to the end. Again, we know Eddie Morris did come down pit road to top off. Dave Wright now making his way down onto pit road as well. As these trucks sliding all around the track, new tires versus old tires. Joe Wright stuck in the middle with nowhere to go. He's losing it. Todd Mays goes around Joe Wright up into the outside wall. No caution. We stay green. Now the caution comes out. We see Bobby Mays smoking as well. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. I think the best way to look at this one's going to be from the blimp since there was so much going on. It's just a difference in speed between old tires and new tires. Joe Wright runs up, tries to make a move, gets out of shape. Craig Schroeder actually turns around the 9 of Todd Mays. Joe Wright catches the outside wall, comes back, keeps it up against the wall to keep himself from coming down across the track. You see Will Witt down on the apron trying to stay out of trouble. And then, Joe Wright. So Joe, up against the wall, was trying to make his way down off the racetrack. And the 5 with just nowheres to go. Bobby Mays, who had a head of steam, comes into the mix. Let's take a look from Bobby Mays here. And you see the speed difference that he sees between all these trucks. Joe thought he was going to be clear to get down off the racing surface, and just nowheres to go. Well, that's going to shake up a lot of things as Brett Merle is going to be your race leader. Cody Moore is going to be in second. Kyle Mays, Eddie Morris, and Zachary Cox round out your top 5. Brett Merle was last on pit road on lap 26. Cody Moore was just on pit road on lap 50. Kyle Mays, Eddie Morris, and Zachary Cox all just pit on lap 59. Devin Bucino runs back in the 7th position. I'm sorry, the 6th position. He was last on pit road on lap 52, along with Brian Merle Jr. So a bunch of different pit strategies out here. As Maria Bodnar Mason says, let's go, Brett and Brian. We're both having great runs right now and putting themselves in the chance for a great finishing position here tonight. Looked like Derek, I'm sorry, who was it? It was, Devin Bucino was the beneficiary of the lucky dog. So he's going to go in and... No, he's not going to go in. He's going to stay out. I take that back. A couple drivers getting waved around the pace truck. So we will have 8 trucks on the lead lap. Joe Wright versus Mays in that caution is very reminiscent of Hensley versus Hartney at the same track a few months ago. Yeah, Blake, I figured you'd be chiming in on that one. I know you had firsthand experience of that. But here we go. We're re-racked, restacked. Brett Merle chooses the inside lane on very old tires. We'll have to watch for the wheel spin here. Cody Moore to the outside. Last time these two drivers were on the front row. We did see Brett Merle spin the tires and catch Cody Moore. We'll have to see how this restart pans out as the pace cars get ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing. No tire spin out of any of the drivers here as we're able to get back to green flag racing. Brett Merle on the low side on those old tires. Right now being very competitive. So we got 4 wide racing behind. Oh, contact! Rosenberger is around off the front bumper of Kyle Mays. He gets it back around and going, but we stay green flag racing. Cody Moore and Eddie Morris up at the front. You taking a look down to the inside of Cody Moore. Cody, though, fighting hard back on the high side as they are side by side for the lead. Here comes Zachary Cox into the mix as well, as Cox going to pound it in there. He's going to get around Cody Moore with 6 laps to go. Kyle Mays to the inside of Cody Moore. Joe Wright in the picture here as well. Joe is a lap down. He is currently the first car 1 lap down, trying to get his lap back the hard way. So he gets around Cody Moore. And Eddie Morris up at the front currently over Zachary Cox. It looks like there's a little bit of a mess on the restart. Let's take you back to the restart real quick. And yeah, look at this. We did have a little bit of tire spin. It looks like Cheeseburger lost it on the start. A little tire spin catches Uncle Todd. So those two drivers having troubles on the restart there. But up front, Eddie Morris continues to lead over Zachary Cox. Kyle May is back in the 3rd position. I know Michael Rosenberger cannot be very happy with the 55 of Kyle Mays. Devin Buchino runs back in 4th, and Cody Moore in 5th. And with Brian Canuti out of the race tonight, I know Buchino was trying to capitalize the best he could here tonight. As up front, Zachary Cox is trying to run down Eddie Morris with just 3 laps to go. Coming up on the lap truck of Todd Mays. When we come across the line this time, we'll have just 2 laps to go. Zachary Cox taking a look down to the inside, not able to make that move as they come up on the lap truck of Todd Mays, who's going to stay up high out of the way. It actually gave a little bit of an advantage to Zachary Cox, who was able to use a little bit of a double draft there off both the 9 and the 8. But as they make their way off of turn number 4, a white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here at Atlanta. Can Eddie Morris hold on? Or can Zachary Cox make a last-ditch effort here? Oh, Cox gets up into the wall. That's going to be enough here as Eddie Morris is going to be on cruise control through turns 3 and 4. Off of turn number 4, Eddie Morris is going to go back-to-back Atlanta and Talladega here in the Fortuna Iron Truck Series. Zachary Cox brings it home in second, and Kyle Mays in third. Devin Bucciano capitalizing here in fourth, and Cody Moore comes home P5. But how about that? Eddie Morse last week at Talladega gets the win. Here at Atlanta gets the win as well. As Devin Bucciano comes and offers his congratulations to Eddie. Eddie gets ready to celebrate here on the front stretch. He's going to burn it down right here. Or he's going to try to burn it down here on the front stretch. Let's take a look at your results here tonight. As Eddie Morris gets the win, Zachary Cox comes home second, Kyle Mays, Devin Bucciano, and Cody Moore round out your top 5. Brian Merle Jr., playoff driver, comes home 6th, along with Derek Chaput, his teammate, in 7th. Joe Wright brings it back in 8th. Craig Schroeder and Dave round out your top 10. Will Witt comes home 11th. Brett Merle, Michael Rosenberger, Michael Cheeseburger, and Todd Mays round out your top 15 as we see Eddie Morris burning it down in the background. Nick Mather, Bobby Mays, Brandon White, Mark Shavers, and Dave Hartney round out the field as we hear Eddie Morris blowing the engine there in the background. That's when you know you've done your donuts right, when you can burn it down all the way. Let's bring in your top 3. Let's see if Kyle Mays makes his way down into the waiting room. Don't see Kyle making his way down. Let's talk to your second place finisher, Zachary Cox. Zach, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, man. How's it going?
Man, going great. Congratulations making your way onto the podium in second here tonight. Having a great run there at the end. Kind of came out of nowheres there towards the end. What was the strategy that you employed there to get yourself up to the front there at the end of the race?
Well, I was just kind of cruising around a little bit, because I know this track's really bad about killing your tires, especially if you start pushing. So I qualified, I think it was fourth, and I was just kind of letting people pass me, and then slowly started working around. And then I'm not in the championship, so I was just kind of gambled on that, staying out to the very end there as long as I could. And lucky enough, got a caution that kind of helped me out there to secure that second place. Oh, it was pretty wild, especially when we were staying out there. Eddie kind of caught me, and we're racing, and then we had a whole slew of cars trying to pass us. So I was trying to keep high because I saw Joe was trying to pass me on the kind of looked like he was trying to split us. And next thing you know, he wasn't there, so I'm not sure what happened with that.
Yeah, and I do want to apologize, everybody. I had my mic muted for a second. Asking that question, I was asking Zach how wild it was navigating the traffic through old tires and new tires. But Zach, again, congratulations on the second place finish here. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I got to give my sponsor, That Guy Designs, always hanging out with me, and keeping with some pretty good designs for all series. You can look him up on um, Facebook, I believe, too, as well as iRacing and Trading Paints. He does custom designs as well as he has some random designs that anyone can run. My team, Two Pedals, One Clutch. They've always been pretty good. Just keep it nice and easy. I know Cheeseburger didn't have he kind of had a bad restart there. Sucks for him, but everyone on the team's been pretty good. My parents, my wife, my kids help support me.
How do you like your chances tomorrow night at Talladega in the Xfinity Series?
I would love to, but I actually have duty tomorrow, so I will not be racing, which kind of
Gotcha.
sucks.
Well, it does kind of suck, but hey, you made the most of it here tonight at Atlanta. So again, congratulations, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you.
So there you have it, your second place finisher, Zachary Cox. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, the man, the myth, the legend, Eddie Morris. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, brother, how's it going?
It's going, man. Congratulations on the win. I know before the race started, we were talking a little bit. You said if you have a good finish here tonight, it was kind of going to be bittersweet. But, man, going back to back here in the truck series, that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, man, it feels real good, especially considering this ain't a super speedway. I mean, it races like one, but it's not technically considered a super speedway. So but all the haters can get off my nuts about just being able to get it done on super speedways. Isaiah Gill, you suck. But yeah, man, it feels real good. Being able to pull it out. Man, Zach, he was pushing pretty hard on that last few laps, and I was pushing just as hard. And man, coming out of two there on the last lap, I thought I was gonna kind of scrape the wall a little bit, and I looked in the mirror, and I think he ended up getting it, and I didn't. And man, it was crazy.
Yeah, he caught the wall just a little bit off of turn two, kind of let you cruise to the win here tonight. And I noticed when that last yellow came out, you were one of the only drivers to come down and top off on pit road. Uh, were you kind of expecting to go green, or did that caution there at the end kind of throw you off a little bit?
Well, Josh, cautions here in Atlanta and no cautions here in Atlanta. I've been bitten both times for each way, I guess. And I was just topping off because I knew that we'd have to make at least another stop. So I was trying to just top off and get all the gas I could. Before that caution, I had the crew chief thing told me they have to add 1.5 to get to the end, and 1.7 is as low as it would go. And I was going to take two right side tires because I tried that in practice and it worked out pretty well for me for the first 15, 20 laps of a run, and there wasn't too much fall off. So that was my game plan, man. And then the caution came out, and we called an audible and took four, and the rest was history, man. It was crazy.
Well, congratulations. Great job running up through the field. Getting the win here tonight. Before we let you go, Eddie, anyone you want to thank? Any shout you got to give here?
Yeah, man. Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business. Morris Customs for these sick paints. Octagon Camping. Got to give a shout out to those guys. Everybody that lets me do this. All the admins in the league, Nudie, Sylvan, Provo, everybody in the league, man. We got a really great group of guys here. Dustin Dean sucks. Cody sits the P. And I think that's about it, man. Oh, and we got to give a shout out to Fortuna Iron for being the series sponsor, Dev Sports Card for being the Xfinity series sponsor, and a shout out to Maze Construction, who's going to step up and come into the truck series next season. So shout out to those guys also.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win, back to back, and next week in Michigan, I know Brian Canuti is going to be on a tear because it's a must-win situation. But how do you like your chance at a three-peat?
Well, I mean, I wasn't looking too forward to pulling off the repeat, so like, I don't know about a three-peat, but maybe we'll run some practice laps there, and maybe I can top off and play some fuel or something. Who knows? We'll see.
I know it is technically kind of a home track for you, so I know you like running up in Michigan. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. And Nudie will be on a mission for sure. So,
well, again, congratulations, and we'll talk to you next week.
all right, thanks, brother.
There you have it, your winner tonight, Eddie Morris, going back-to-back here in the Fortuna Iron Truck Series. Again, thank you for everybody who joined us here tonight. What a great race we just had here at Atlanta. And I'll tell you what, next week at Michigan is not going to disappoint as well. So join us back here next week as the Fortuna Iron Truck Series moves on to Michigan, which is a cutoff race before our championship race. It's going to be a wild one for sure. Drivers will be working hard to try to get themselves into position for a championship. Of course, on July 12th will be our season finale at Homestead. Again, thank you everybody for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to share the stream too if you know anybody who might have enjoyed tonight's race. And as always, as our boy Atman Weiss would say, over